So I thought I should start by asking ourselves, what are the triggers of ESG? Why are we doing ESG? What brought about ESG? And I think this is not something everyone is more familiar with. ESG is not like corporate social responsibility. It is brought by certain facts that we need to address this global citizen. Let me start by looking at the emission factors 1850 before pre-industrial revolution. There was only about 280 parts per million in our atmosphere of greenhouse gases. 2021, about 440 parts per million. Last year, it went to 417 parts per million. Parts per million is a mathematical calculation on the amount of molecules that are trapped in the atmosphere as a result of greenhouse gases. And that traps heat, and that heat has got an effect on climate or weather regulations. So what happens is the atmosphere's carrying capacity should be only 350 parts per million. So now we are at 470 parts per million. So that is already catastrophic. If you look on your side, the fastest emissions in our history came 30 years ago. We started emitting a lot 8 years ago. That is methane, carbon dioxide, and nitrous oxide. Industries that are four biggest industries are the sectors of agricultural sector, aviation sector, industry such as hard to abate, which is the cement industry, the steel, and the petrochemicals. They make up 30% of the emissions, those three industries, those three subsectors. And then the omitting the transportation sector. So you see how scary it is. Are there any Americans here? No Americans, sorry. An average American consumes four times than an African in terms of resource extraction. So the rate of such consumption will need about 4 Earth planets to be sustainable. Population growth is also increasing pressure on already human-induced climate change. So these are really facts that are, putting more additional pressure on our planet. So the carrying capacity of our planet is 2 billion. Now we are at like 8 billion. So why is we're using technologies to feed ourselves thanks to civilization. So with natural resource, supplies can only go to 2 billion people in terms of services. You end up at least, she spoke about 2.7 global average temperature in the current NDC investments and targets. What that will mean for Namibia, it will mean Namibia is more than the global average temperature. So 2.7 increase may mean 3.5 increase in Namibia. So we are more vulnerable in Namibia, Botswana, Angola, the Northern Cape, more vulnerable than any other country on earth. That's why you see that red and brown spots there. Actually, social scientists tells us that we are moving towards the 6th wave of extinction. those are the impacts in Africa: cyclones, drought, floods, tropical storms, etc. Now let's get back to Namibia. Those are the impacts on the, in Namibia. Even Shabins, are affected by it. So, the agricultural sector, 10% of cereals reduction, 10% of crop reduction will be it's already experienced. Grazing land, about 10% of grazing lands have been lost to desertification and degradation. In 2021, in 2018, 2019, we lost 145,000 hectares to drought, of which half of that was from Bulgaria region. So it's heavy. So in the water sector, you can see the stress of our water sector. The CEO of the city of Windhoek will tell you more about that stress from the supply in cities. Health, more diseases are being witnessed, and a lot of social challenges are being, such as poverty, is being experienced. So investment needs. For Africa alone, we need about 200 billion a year by 2025 and 400 billion by 2030 of investments to address our NDC targets. So for certain countries, that should be 1.2 trillion billion, 1.2 trillion. For Namibia, our NDC says 14 billion. So where will this kind of money come from? This money can come from public resources, because most countries are constrained. So we need to come up with innovative tools to finance our climate change actions. So some of those tools are environmental fiscal reforms, like we have introduced at the ERF, the environmental taxes on plastic bags, on incandescent bulb, on tires, on your cars. When you buy a new car, it's an environmental tax. So a portion of that comes to the ERF. We invest that towards climate change activities. Payment for ecosystem services, carbon pricing strategies, debt for nature swap. This is where heavily indebted countries can trade in their debt and invest the profits towards whether the blue economy or climate change. So these tools are on the market. Yeah? So at the ERF, we do have different financing tools that we pursue. That is, we deploy capital through loans, grants, as well as equity and debt instruments. Mezzanine is also a structure that we use, especially for commercial projects that are within the green hydrogen sector. So just to indicate a few tools that we use. So our responses so far, some of our responses is that we got accredited to the Green Climate Fund to access about $700 million of grants, and those has been channeled through to the most vulnerable people in our society, targeting mainly pastoralist communities, to build capacity, to build resilience, and also get that adaptation going within the vicinity. Most of these, the beneficiaries of these funds are natural resource reliant communities. And these are the most affected and most at-risk community. Then, introduction of credit lines. So one of the credit lines that we introduced was the separate program under the FD. We worked very well with FND and NEPIN. So that was about 800 million that was channeled and deployed towards renewable energy, sustainable tourism, as well as sustainable agriculture. So just impact at glance, from the past 5 years of the year, we mobilized about 3 billion plus in both grants and line of credit. Maybe what I forget to mention, which might be interesting to you, is that we do a blended financing program, and that the blended financing program, there are two of such programs. One is the SDG Namibia 1, which is a specialized fund that is geared towards green hydrogen investments and value chains. And that fund is now operating. We're raising about $20 billion for such investments. So if you are innovative entrepreneurs, you're thinking big, start aligning yourself with Hyphen, see what's going there, what are the business opportunities with Hyphen, unlock those opportunities, come to the fund and see how we can finance all those opportunities. Then if you love startup and SMEs, you've got the green credit facility. So green credit facilities provides concessional loans up to $2.5 billion. And it issues interest at prime -7, almost 4%. And it's in the area of renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, recycling, etc. It's ongoing. You can also contact us if you want to participate at that level. Okay? Okay. Now, that is the impact that raised. We've covered about 240,000 hectares of land in terms of conservation financing, about 258 communities benefiting through grants, more than 600 million, etc., etc. Let's just give you a perspective. I think that's what I wanted to share with you from the Environmental Investment Fund. But most importantly, I want to end with ESG triggers. You have seen triggers coming from the emission factors point of view. The Paris Agreement has provided the framework. But most importantly, there are already tools that now are propelling ESG to be implemented, such as the EU Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. What does that do? If your product that you export to EU has got a large carbon content, it will receive a carbon tax, then that product will become uncompetitive on the market. If the product is low carbon content through its production value chain, you will see incentives in the EU. So all that influences on how we develop our sectors. As we're trying to green the mining industry, we're trying to green the steel industry, the agricultural industry, the energy industry, transport, aviation, the shipping industry, through green hydrogen and other derivatives. So this is because of ESG triggers and the kind of policies that the EU is putting in place. And our biggest market in terms of export is EU. So we need to align with such developments. Thank you so much.